Okay, we are live from San Diego. I'm just kidding. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I am interviewing Jordan Oaks, known as Oaksey, and yeah, let's just get right into it. So my first question is, why did you decide to become a musician?
That's a good question. Well, it was kind of like, it was like integrated into my life just from a young age because my mom was a musician, so like she was playing piano like from when she was a child, and she was teaching piano lessons. So I first learned piano in like elementary school, second grade, and I stuck with that. And then just from there, I just kind of like casually was a part of music, like just playing like bass guitar, uh, kind of off and on with piano, and then once I hit high school, I decided to approach it seriously, uh, and that was like kind of when I decided to approach it more like a career, and that was just more of like a spontaneous reason, me just being like, well, this is something I really like, so yeah, screw it, let's do it. Hey.
Yeah. And speaking of, how long have you been making your music?
So since 2015.
Wow.
Or yeah, it would have been like end of 2014, start of 2015, and I started releasing in 2016.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's been like 6 years.
6 years. So did
Wow.
you graduated in 2014 with Michael, right?
Or no, I was 2016.
2016?
So junior senior year of high school was like when I started going hard actually.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know it was. Sheesh, it's already been that long.
Yeah, right. I know.
What were or still are some challenges recording and selling music?
Ooh, yeah, that's a real. Well, I could name a lot, but when it comes to like the recording process, there's just so many like layers of density when it comes to music creation, especially when it comes to engineering. So, just for anyone who doesn't know what engineering is, it's like the balancing of sound levels, the mixing, the editing, it's basically like the recording process is actually easy for me. Like that's something that I'm really good at, so it like comes naturally. A lot of artists can feel that way, I'm sure too. But then once you like have the recordings you want, it's like to actually put it into these programs to make it sound right, fit it in with all these other sounds, like adding the reverbs and the delays, all that stuff. And then by the time you get to the end of the song, you have to make sure that the song is at the same like sound level as what other artists are releasing, like radio and stuff like that. So you have to like check sound levels, you have to master it, and like that part of it is really challenging. And then also after you're completely done with the song, the distribution can be a tricky thing because like getting it onto Spotify, like my music is on every streamable platform like Spotify, iTunes. I even have some songs on like the Touch Tunes thing at like bars and stuff like that. And in order to get your music distributed, you have to go through a distributor, as you can imagine, and it has to be like approved. You have to send it out. It has to have like original artwork that is like directly to their specs. Like it has to be like an exact amount of pixels and the exact like type of image. Your song has to like be original and owned by you. If it's not owned by you, you have to like show what other artists were a part of it and put them in. And it's like you have to fill out like a bunch of paperwork, and then your song has to get processed for like multiple weeks. So that's always like a weird thing. And then plus some of these music distributors are like have weird, like some of them you have to pay right away. Some of them you pay with a percentage. So there's like weird rules with distributors. So I've had to like switch my music distributor like 3 times because of weird stuff. So that was a lot of the difficult stuff to learn for sure.
Yeah, that leads into my next question, which is, do you have any go-to distribution routes? Any recommendations of which one or stuff like that?
Yeah, so this one's hard because, like I said, as I figure out more about different distributors, I figure out about their strengths and weaknesses. And, like, just depending on what kind of artist you are, someone might find what works better for them. But right now I'm using one called CD Baby. And, like I said, I still need to release more with this one just to figure out if it's what I really want to go to. But prior to that, I used one called DistroKid. But then there's a bunch of weird lawsuits coming out against DistroKid for them not being totally true to what they were saying about, artists keeping 100% of their the money from their streams, like weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's like yeah, so that's like a weird thing. And the first one I used though was called TuneCore, and TuneCore is good, but the one thing is like they require annual fees, so every song that you upload annually gets recharged, so you have to pay every single year, which it's only like $10 or whatever for a song, and then like 50 or something for an album, but it's just annoying to get charged every single year. Like that adds up really fast. So yeah, but like I said, right now I'm using CD Baby, and I'm not about to say it's the best or anything, but it's what's working good for me right now.
Yeah, we had to learn about DistroKid in the class for this class, and it seemed cool, but yeah, I didn't know anything about the lawsuits.
Did they talk about any of like the weird stuff with DistroKid?
No.
Like it doesn't seem like, I don't know, and I'm sure like I don't want to totally hate on it, but like I just know a lot of like there's a lot of like people on YouTube and stuff who are coming out and just being like, DistroKid did this, and apparently their customer service is really hard to get a hold of, and they just respond with bots and automated responses like, oh, reach out to your lawyer and like see ya, like, so it's like, and when you have like a weird issue going on with a song, it's like that is not what you want to hear. You don't want to hear a robot tell you to go talk to your lawyer.
Yeah.
Like that's like the worst thing you could hear. So yeah, but like I'm not gonna totally throw shade on it because it did like they verify you if you're who you say you are and everything. So yeah, it's a weird one. That the distribution has been hard for me over the last couple of years because I keep switching. So
yeah, it seems interesting process. Yeah. So do you have any contracts with producers, or do you do everything solo? I guess you already answered, but
kind of. I when it comes to like legitimate contracts, it's like I don't have any like technical like binding things with any record labels or producers. However, I do work with like there's probably right now 5 producers that I'm working with. I guess, or even more, like more. Like there's probably like 6 who I'm like actually like finishing projects with, and then I kind of have other ones who online who I haven't met face to face. And stuff like that, but like when it comes to like people who I kind of like actually know, there's about 5 or 6 producers, but I'm not like in any binding contracts. It's almost more of just like we're kind of like going through the music creation process together, and then we kind of handle the business side of things once it comes to releasing, and that's so it's like it's a little bit weird, if I was or I could even say when songs get bigger, and if I have like a lot more of a huge rollout for a song and I'm getting a lot of buzz from it, then I would go to that producer and like make sure that we're working out a fair deal. But I'm sure other artists who at like a higher caliber might work that deal out earlier. But yeah, so no contracts or anything, but definitely working with a bunch of producers.
Okay. Let's see where I'm at right now. How do you market yourself, especially with the pandemic?
Oh, that's marketing yourself. That is another good question. So that's one that like kind of has always been changing for me too, especially since early on I wasn't super smart about the business side of things. I was just making music. So when it comes to like marketing myself, I'm almost like just trying to be true to myself and like allow like my organic personality and sound and everything that I develop kind of like become my like face, and if you will. So but like that comes in multiple ways, because like when you say like market myself, like almost like how I'm putting myself out there kind of on the internet, like type of thing, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a weird thing. I'm almost like taking a step away. Like I'm not marketing myself like a traditional hip-hop artist would, only because I'm making kind of like a weird alternative sound of hip-hop.
Yeah.
Not all my stuff is gonna like really fit in with like, I don't know, with what some of like rappers are doing. So like I said, I'm almost just like allowing my original persona to just reflect in my music videos, in my posts on social media, just like trying to be as true to myself as I can and like allow that to like become my image, if you will. But I still kind of have like some like other like I don't know the way you approach yourself as like an artist is always a weird thing, and I'm sure I'll change too like as time goes on, you know. So
Yeah.
did I answer that good? I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, yeah, that was
if you want me
perfect.
to elaborate anything, you can.
Okay. um, so, what is your favorite process when making music? Is it writing, recording, mixing?
No, that's another really good question. That sometimes will change, but I would definitely say for me my favorite part is like the early creation. Like right when I first get into either writing it or when I'm first producing a song and I'm like on the piano. Like that very initial part is my favorite. Definitely my strongest part where yeah, like right when I first start writing or if I'm just coming up with flows in my head, yeah, writing it down or like playing the piano, that initial whatever starts the song is always my favorite part. Because sometimes, you know, as it goes on, you have to start like working on like smarter and harder, kind of like to be like,
Yeah.
oh, I got to get this weird part of the song done or something. So it's not always as fun as when I'm first like, oh, creating that like initial spark. So yeah, definitely that. But yeah, lyrically, I would say writing the poetry part of it. I love the vocals. So
I would have to agree. It's very fun to get your ideas out there.
yeah, real talk.
What would you, or what advice would you give someone starting their music career?
Ooh, okay. There, ooh, pretty much, I would say it's almost like a philosophy. Like, I would give people a lot of tactics. Like, I'd be like, oh, here's cool, like, info and tactics. But, like, if I were to give them, like, a philosophy, I would be like, there are, there are no rules. Like, no matter what level of mixing you're at. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's, you know, every producer, everyone will have, like, tips and tricks. There's going to be, like, quote unquote rules. Like, oh, this is how you make compressors sound good. Or this is how you make reverb sound good. Or this is a good way to write. But whatever, like, I would just be like, hey, there are no rules. Like, create. Just, like, literally just create and, like, freaking have fun with it. Like, do it to, like, your authenticity because again they're like when it comes to the creative aspect of things there are no rules. Doesn't matter how the song starts, doesn't matter like even how long you take to create it. Like there's just certain things where like you don't have to sit here and like act like you're one of the artists who you follow on Instagram and like think that you have to do what they're doing, like post as much as them
Yeah.
or share your content like them. Like there literally are no rules, so it's like just do like what you think is right and like no matter what, if you're working on it, if you're progressing, if you're being creative, like you're winning, you're doing it right.
Agreed. Yes. Very
Yeah.
good. Um, what is one thing you wish you knew going into this industry?
Don't pay to perform. Don't pay to perform. That I would have told myself that because I made that mistake and I got scammed because I paid someone money for me to perform because I thought it was going to be I thought I was going to get a really good opportunity for this set and I paid money. And, you know, there could be unique instances where someone would be like, oh, it was a small admission and in turn I got a bunch of fans because of it. Okay, cool. It could work. But my advice to artists is know your worth, king or queen. Know your worth. You don't have to pay to perform. Like, and I'm not, and you know, sometimes you could, you know, perform for free. That's fine if it's some sort of charity event or open mics or whatever it is, or if you're just training. But like, know your worth. You shouldn't have to pay to perform. That's
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah. Um, so this is the last question, and what's your next big thing for your music?
Ooh, yeah. Hey, that's actually perfect because it's something I'm like working on, like literally was working on today. And part of it consists of this beautiful little rig right here, which
Ooh.
is yeah, it's just this is just a like nice 4K camera with a stabilizer, but pretty much I'm just taking like a level up visually, sound wise. Like I said, it's almost like I'm like video game leveling up just when it comes to like quality, my delivery, my visuals. I'm just like taking like one step up right now. So I haven't released as much as I normally would because I'm just like taking the time to like polish all my skills across the board and I like I even like went and like set a little like personal goal list, if you will. Like I got like my music goals, like my daily whatever. But so yeah, I just have like I'm essentially just taking like all the aspects of what I'm gonna show people, like the image. It's gonna just take a level up. So it's like not even just one thing. Like I've been working on my mixing, my mastering. It's like kind of like just a whole step across everything. Which that's why it's taking me so long, because I'm like, yeah, it's a process when you're doing a lot of it yourself
Exactly.
too. Yeah, so
Yeah. Well, good luck with that. Hope
thank you.
that all goes well. And that's all I have for you. Thank you for letting me interview you today.
Yeah, no problem. Good questions, by the way. Yeah, I feel like you had. I don't know if you were the one who came up with those, but those are good questions. It had me thinking like in the right way. So.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, cool. If you need anything else, just hit me up.
All right, sounds good. Have a good
All right.
one.
Appreciate
Bye.
it. You